Oh, hello, it is your boy Zaku, and we are back. This week we are going to be talking about UFC 330. Last week was an okay card. Like I said, it wasn't the worst, but it wasn't like UFC Serbia. The main highlight was, oh my god, the Minority Destroyer Quinlan Salkill. Wow, I picked him to win. I was one of the few people I saw on MMA YouTube picking him to win. I didn't think he'd win like that, but he did. I'd also like to mention I went 11 for 12 on picks. Wait, yeah, I went 11 and 12 on picks, so that was pretty good. But now we're on UFC 330. I will say, in terms of this card, like I said, I love to keep it a buck with you guys. It's not good. I'm gonna be honest, you guys. It has a good main event that has a high chance of sucking. A co-main event that is either going to be really good or really bad, no in between, and then a lot of it's just like, okay, I guess. It sucks that we lost Neil Chidi. I think that would have been, see, I do like the Alvarez substitute, but I just don't like him on short notice now, and I know Ochoa versus Johnson was going to be a banger. And it was nice to see Blanchfield. I don't know. This card is, yeah, they're going to Philly, and they just shoved Makhachev versus Garry on there. I also personally really wish it was Morales instead of Garry. You're going to say, oh, but Garry has way more wins at the top 10. Bilal, MVP, Neil. I'm going to take a win over Brady over those wins, except for the Bilal win, but, like, he decisioned Bilal. Morales knocked him out in the first round. Brady, of course, so I don't know. Let's get into the card. First fight on the card is going to be Jeremiah Wells versus Mitrek, I would always call him Mitrek Orbai. This is a pretty easy one. I don't understand this matchup, hence the odds. Orobai is a huge favorite, and Orobai should win, and Orobai should look dominant doing it. I personally always think, like I always say, you should never have any fighter over minus 400 unless it's like an Indian fighter or like something really, really, really stupid, like say like Tony Ferguson fighting Islam Makhachev. But I think this is as close you can get to like how fair those odds are. Like Orobai should beat the crap out of Wells. I don't think Wells is a good fighter. Like, he's been submitted before by Carlson Harris, who's not as good a fighter as Orobai. Orobai, other than the one who lost to Rebetsky, he's looked good in all of his fights. He's powerful. He's strong. The main thing with him is he doesn't have good striking. It's very sloppy. But, like, he's not as powerful. Like, he's more powerful, He's more powerful than Wells. Wells is the better striker, but not as powerful. I do think Orobai will struggle a little bit to get him down because Wells has some okay takedown defense, but I just don't highly rate Wells. And also the 11-year age difference is something huge. I think this should be an easy win for Orobai. As we see with the odds, it's swelled up even more so. Minus 900 plus 600. Yeah, we don't need to see any more there. Neil Magny versus Ramiz Brahimaj. This is a hard one. It really is. Hence the even odds, which might still be even odds. Like, initially look at this and go, Ramiz, of course. It's Neil Magny. He's so old. He's 39. There's a big age difference. I do think Ramiz is not the youngest spring chicken, but 32, 34 is prime years. Magny is over that, coupled with an insane amount of wear and tear, but he is a tricky veteran. The best way to look at it is if you're a good fighter, Morales, Prates, Amasov, you take him out extremely easily. Simple as that. Like you take him out easily. If you're not a good fighter, Dos Santos, who's age, Matthews, or good old Malat, he beats you. Like, it's weird. It's weird. This is like the true test to see, is Ramiz actually good? Is he? He doesn't have good wins. Mickey Gall Billy Ray Goff, who we just saw die, and his coach basically was like, run for your life, you can't take him. And Austin Vanderforth. They're wins. They're wins. They're not the best. So, I don't know. I don't like this fight at all. I'm going to haphazardly go with Ramiz by decision. The main problem is just like I said, Magny's just a veteran. He's got lanky jabs, pot shots, but he starts slow, and if he gets on the ground, like, he's gonna die. He's not good on the ground. He's good in like standing clinch and clinch wrestling, but on the ground is where he suffers. So, and he is, see, I don't want to say he's chinny, because getting knocked out by Morales and Prates, like, they knock out 99% of the population with a good punch. So I don't know. I'm gonna go to Mi's decision haphazardly. He swelled up to a slight favorite, but that was odds make sense. Rafael Tobias versus Lucas Fernando. See, I did tape for this fight, and then I just completely forgot about its absolute existence. This is one of the weaker fights on the card. It's two younger, fresher guys, but I still just don't think they're good. They've looked pretty meh. Like, Fernando, he's looked pretty meh. I've seen him get out grappled. His recent wins, again, just ain't looking good. He's the better kickboxer with a reach advantage, pretty good reach advantage, and a good one too. So I lean towards, but I think Tobias is a better grappler. It's really striker versus grappler. Whoever gets on the ground, if he gets on the ground, I think Tobias wins. If Fernando stays on feet, he wins. I just really don't think Fernando's that good, so I'm gonna pick flip. I initially picked Fernando. I'm going Tobias to get done by decision, but that's iffy. Not betting it. Plus 230 for, oh, I've picked underdog to minus 280 Lucas Fernando. Am I overthinking it? I actually think I'm underthinking it, but who cares? All right, now Vicente Luque versus Trishan Gore. This is also a fight that shouldn't be as hard as it is. You look at it in your brain, it immediately goes, Vicente Luque. Trishan Gore sucks. And I still feel that. He is a gilly merchant. He's got gilly. That's all he has. But Luque has been so bad since the brain bleed. He's looked so bad. Like, beating Kelvin Gastelum and submitting him, Gastelum's just as washed as you. Themba Grimbo sucks. Holland killed the man. I don't even remember that fight. Yoel Alvarez killed the man. Like, I don't want to pick Vicente Luque, but I really think we're overrating Trishan Gore because he had a good win against Azamat Bakoyev. He was a massive underdog. That's just the lightning in a bottle. My job's on the line. I have to do this performance where he pulls something out of him that he doesn't have. That's what I truly think it is. I think Vicente Luque is going to hit harder. I think he's a more competent fighter. I think he's a veteran, of course. 10 fights as opposed to freaking 37, sorry. It's just a brain bleed. Ever since that, he's just not good anymore. But Trishan Gore is also not good. I don't think he's UFC level. I think he has the power to knock out Vicente Luque, but I think overall Luque is going to get it done. It looks like I'm picking another underdog. Plus 100 for Luque, minus 120 for Trishan Gore. I don't think I said I'm going to go Luque decision. But I will say I did write down iffy in that, so. Dante Johnson versus Eric McConnell. Dante Johnson by TKO. Johnson, yes, he did not look good against Brundage. It's Cody Brundage. Going to split decision against him is but I still see potential in him. I still think he's a solid prospect. I just think he needs more time. He's 27. He's one of the rare fighters who are younger than me. Eric McConnell is older than me at 36, a good bit older than me. I don't think he's a bad fighter. I'm just not high on him. He's a southpaw with some good power. I think he's a tough fight for everyone, but I don't think his power is enough to worry me. And I think he's very liable to get chinned. He's the taller guy, but he's one of those guys that doesn't use their height right. He hunches over and he gets up close. He has a height and reach advantage, and I don't think he's going to use that at all. Dante Johnson has that nice Philly shell that you learned from Strickland's gym, Extreme Couture. But his pressure striking and KO power with solid hand speed, I think is just enough to, like, What is this? What is this? Oh, schedule strength. I was gonna say, wait, he's not ranked 6. I think all those aspects are enough to get a KO over Makhachev, and I'm pretty confident in that. Eric Makhachev. Dote Johnson minus 245. Eric Makhachev plus 203. Is that my lock of the card? There's no such thing as lock, but the fight I'm most confident, I think it might be. It's one of them. Well, other than the elephant in the room we'll go over, but Charles Energy Johnsons versus Eduardo Henrique. This, unfortunately, is a short notice for Eduardo. It was supposed to be Jose Ochoa. I won't give you an in-depth breakdown on this because the only fight I know of this guy is his fight in the Contender Series. And he looked okay. I don't even think he got a contract, but he looked okay. And Charles Johnson, on the other hand, is so wishy-washy. He's literally win one, lose one, win one, lose one. And in fact, this is a guy making his debut off the Contender Series. I'm pretty confident he'll probably win this, but not confident enough to give you a breakdown and tell you it's going to be. I want to like you, Charles Johnson, but I got to stop picking you. Because I can confidently say, no, I didn't pick him there. But every one of these fights here, I picked him. I picked him in all these fights. Not the first one, introduced to Temirov. I'll just look at the odds just for shizers and giggles. Minus 224 and then plus 104. Yeah, that makes sense. Johnson's too wishy-washy. GD Bang Bang versus Yoel Alvarez. This should be a solid, fun fight. It's just, I don't like the short notice for Alvarez, which is ruining it. Like, otherwise, I would like this probably better than the original fight. But, yeah, Chidi used to be a middleweight, but he is declining. Too many wars, and he's too old now. And I've been saying this for years. He's never been the same since the RoboCop fight. Both him and RoboCop left a piece of them inside that fight, and RoboCop got it back. RoboCop did. But Chidi, like, yeah, he has a win streak. I get it. But Reese McKee, Jared Gooden, Dos Santos. Dos Santos is too old. He's too old. He did not look good and got subbed against Matthews, which leads me to believe that Alvarez is going to sub him, and he didn't look good against Carlos Leal. Like, the main thing is, Alvarez sub, if this was like a fresh matchup, I would be so much more confident. I'm still going to pick Yoel Alvarez to get this done by submission. He is coming off that bad loss, but it's Amasov. Amasov is a fucking monster, but otherwise this man is a finishing machine. Only I think one decision, I'm pretty sure, it's against Luque, which yeah, he didn't look good against Luque. I don't know, ever since he moved up to welterweight, maybe this isn't his weight class, but I don't know, we'll see here. It's funny, we have a guy coming up from lightweight versus a guy going down, but I don't know, man. Actually, I do know. I'm going to go with Yoel Alvarez. I think, though, it's going to be a banger of a fight. I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think the leg kicks are going to be a good thing for Alvarez. I think the grappling is a main aspect for Alvarez. And, yeah, I think that's going to be it. Alvarez should be a good favorite. Yeah, minus 330 to plus 267 for Chidi. That sucks. You have a short nose replacement and you're the underdog. I'd be so pissed. So, I remember I mentioned the elephant in the room, Edson Barboza versus Esteban Ribovic. I think too many people they're overthinking this. Barboza, he is something beyond washed. There's washed, and then there's the next fucking level. I don't care if Ribovic is not as good as we thought. He had the loss to Hasbrat, which is iffy. He beat Brenner, okay, and then he got submitted. He got submitted by Gamrot. Yeah. Is Barboza gonna submit him? When's the last time Barboza even shot a takedown? Barboza's best days are past him, bro. He's not only old too, he's gone to war with some of the biggest warlords. I will say, I'm gonna break this down. If you just look at fights, not wins, he has one of the best resumes in all of UFC and MMA history. This man, like, okay, you get to here. Danny Castillo, Cowboy, even Dunham, Bobby Green, Coin Flip Johnson, he got coin flipped. Paul Felder, Tony Ferguson, Anthony Pettis, Gilbert Melendez, Beneil Dariush, Habib Nurmagomedov, Kevin Lee, Dan Hooker. By the way, one of the worst beatdowns of all time. He won that. Please go watch that fight. Justin Gaethje, Paul Felder again, Dan Ige, Marwan Shane Burgos. That was a really weird knockout. Giga, Bryce, Billy Q, Sadiq Youssef, Leron Murphy, Jakar Close. That was such a... Why does he fight Jakar Close in 2025? Jalen Turner. Yes, he got knocked out by Turner. That is also leads us into, like, he got knocked out by him bad. I think Ribovic is going to beat the piss out of Barboza. I think we're overthinking it. I see, you could say, veteran savvy, and he used to have some of the best kicks in the sport with very powerful kicks, but his boxing has regressed so heavily. He's so much slower. Ribovic is more dangerous. He's faster. He's a close-range power boxer with tons of heavy strikes, heavy volume, non-stop cardio. It's just grappling that he has to worry about, and his grappling's piss. But, like, Barboza's not going to shoot a takedown. Even if he shoots a takedown, Bribovic's grappling isn't that bad. He's not that pissed, so. Yeah. Minus 650 plus 475. That makes sense. That makes sense. I think we're overthinking it. Mansour Abdul Malik. Oh my god, my brain just gave out on me. Versus Dustin Stolfitz. I think this is a pretty easy one, too. Yeah, I lost to Belguri, but, like, Belguri's powerful. Otherwise, Mansour should get it done, and he should get it done by KO. I think this is a layup fight to get him back on track, to be perfectly honest with you. He also did look good mid against Brundage, but, like, I don't know, man. He's a hard hitter with very solid pocket boxing, and he's a good athlete with a wrestling background that he doesn't use as much. Stolfitz, he's so wishy-washy. He's so wishy-washy on a nice little loss streak. And it's against Ruziboyev, who's decent, but Gaslam at this day and age, oh. And Bruno Ferreira's fine. He hits like a truck. Yeah, Stolfitz is chinny. I'm just not a fan of him. I think he's slower, and he doesn't have good grappling. He's a technical kickboxer, but too technical. It should be an easy win for Mansour. I'm not going to overcomplicate it. Minus 650, plus 475. Same exact odds as that. And those are on the main card. Funny. Jalen Turner versus Kyle Fernandez. I don't believe Turner's back. Nope. I'm going with Kyle Fernandez. Kyle Fernandez has some nasty leg kicks. Yeah, he lost to Mark Casey, which is, but other than that, he's putting it on people. I think he's an underrated guy, and I think Turner is overrated as hell. The karate-based striking is going to be much better for Fernandez compared to Turner, who has very solid boxing, but he's powerful, but he can get clipped, his defense isn't the best, and he doesn't have the heart in it. He fades in all his fights, and he quits, and he has no heart. I need to stress this. He retired after the Bahamondes fight, and he came back. But who did he come back against? Edson Barboza. We're gonna say he's back because he knocked out Barboza? No. That's a Barboza coming back up to lightweight. He was a featherweight for a good bit. Yeah, no, give me Kyle Fernandez, and I'm confident in this one. I see he's the underdog, but I don't know. Maybe I eat my words, but I'm just not high on Turner anymore. I think he's lost it. I really think he has. Kyle Fernandez plus 135, Jalen Turner minus 155. I think Cal gets it done. I think he's gonna get done by KO. Yeah, I think he's done by KO. And on to the co-main event of the evening. Now, while I will admit I am not a fan of women's MMA almost at all in this day and age, I think this should be a fun fight, or it'll be a really bad fight. But Dern and Robertson usually have better fights. They do. They don't fight often. How long has it been for Dern? 9 months? How long has it been for you? 4 months. I forgot about the Lemos fight. That was 4 months ago. I rewatched it, but I didn't realize it was 4 months ago. And it's a hard one too. I've picked swapped so much in this fight. I have no idea. It's hard. Dern, she gets so like sloppy when she gets like pressure on the feet. Both are really good grapplers, and I feel it's gonna be where the grappling kind of like cancels each other out. If it's on the feet, I'm never picking Dern. I'm never picking Dern on the feet. I don't think she's good on the feet. I'm not gonna ever forget this. I will never forget the Andrade loss where she looked horrible, but she strung up some okay wins. It's just that like I don't think her submissions will be good enough to submit Robertson, but I also can see the momentum being on her side, finally getting the belt and being champion. And Robertson has low power. Her finishing is mainly because of subs with occasional ground and pound. But if she gets on the ground, Dern is a black belt in BJJ, so she's not gonna like be bad on her back. I don't know, man. I can see a world where Dern gets a crazy submission. I can see a world where Robinson beats the living shit out of her. So well, if you must know, what I recently wrote down, the last one I have was Dern decision. I'm gonna pick swap to Robertson. I'm not betting on this, but I'm gonna pick to Robertson. But it's hard. It's really hard on this one. That's a close matchup. Robertson plus 177, minus 205 for Dern. I've picked too many underdogs. I should just stop. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna say Robertson. And on to the main event of the evening. The number one pound for pound best fighter in the sport, Islam Makhachev versus Ian Machado Garry. I'm going to preface this. I do not like Garry. I don't. But now I'm going to say I don't dislike Garry for the same reasons you guys do. So many people say he's a cuck, he's annoying, he's loud, blah, blah, blah. I don't like those parts about that, but that does not make me dislike you as a fighter. There's only 2 ways to make me dislike you as a fighter. 3. Cheater, cop, gone, or a horrible human being, Jones, McGregor, or lastly, which Garry falls into. He's none of those, even though he does eye poke. He is boring. Ian Garry, when he gets in the cage, I get no excitement. He is a very talented fighter, but he has no excitement. The way that people talk about Makhachev is how Garry is. Because look at this. Decision. Let's look at this. Decision. Finish. Decision. Yeah, this is a horrible fight, the JDM fight. But I'm watching that over every single one of these fights except for probably the Rakhmonov fight. The Prates fight was okay too. But enough about just my clear bias against him because he's boring and Makhachev's exciting. I also think we are overcomplicating this. Yes, Ian Garry is a talented fighter, but he is lacking the one true thing you need to beat Makhachev, which he is beatable. It is power. And I don't mean knockout power, I mean strength. Ian Machado Garry has proven time and times again that he is physically weak. He is a very technical point fight striker who does a great job with his oblique kicks and keeping people at range. Those will pose problems for Makhachev, and a jab from a weak fighter can break a nose or hurt someone. But Makhachev is too good of a defensive striker for that. We still underrate both his wrestling and his striking. And we're overrating Garry's wrestling. Oh, he stopped every takedown from below. You know who else stopped every takedown from below? JDM. What happened to JDM? And keep in mind, that was a very reserved Makhachev. You can tell he just wanted to get the belt. Garry, we've seen him, if he gets on his back, like in the Shavkat fight, he is content with sitting there. He was content with sitting in Prates' guard. Garry can get taken down. He's been taken down before, and I don't think his get-up games are good. I think his takedown defense is above average, but he hasn't fought someone as good as Makhachev. Sure, Makhachev's ground and pound has decreased over the years. I won't be honest, but his sub-game and technical ability is just so good. The way he takes backs, insane. The only reason he wasn't able to sub Volkanovski was because he has no neck. And it's Volkanovski. Who subbed Volkanovski? Ortega had him in 3 bad chokes and couldn't get him. I ain't shocked that and Prime Ortega. I ain't shocked that Makhachev couldn't do it. But then other people, like, he was constantly fishing for the finish against Dustin, and he got it. Moicano's not easy to sub, especially in the first round. Garry, I think he's going to be good enough to not get subbed. His game plans is really good. He's really been working on his BJJ. And yeah, he got the back of MVP and Shavkat. That was a gas Shavkat and an MVP. Did he submit them? No. I think Garry will be too good to get subbed unless he gets a little reckless, which I can see happening, maybe being a title fight. But I think overall, Makhachev is just going to beat him in all aspects. Like, even the striking, everyone brings up how much better a striker Garry is. Makhachev is not supremely far behind. Makhachev is not as good a striker as Ian Garry, but that's if we're talking a straight kickboxing match. Garry wins. And an actual MMA fight, which the takedown threat is there, not the takedown, but the option level changes is there. He will get a knockout. He will hurt him on the feet. He will not get a knockout. I'm sorry. Makhachev could knock out Garry if it's a ground and pound, but he's not knocking him on the feet. But he will hurt him on the feet. He will land shots. We saw him knock out Volkanovski. People say, it was short notice, Volk. He was setting up that kick the entire fight, and I don't care if Volk's coming off the couch. That makes his chin better. That makes his chin better without dehydrating himself. No, he wasn't taking that head kick. Maybe his reaction time was weakened, but still, like, he beat Volkanovski the way he should have, with Volkanovski being on a week's notice. I think we need to highly rate that, like, performance. Like, we underrate that performance, honestly. So I just truly believe that Garry and his lack of muscle and strength is not going to help him. I think Makhachev looks so big. He's still pretty fast. He's slower, but still pretty fast. Lighter man skill. And I think he's going to get him down to the ground and just, like, beat him up, control him. I think he's going to be able to fish for subs a little bit more, but I'm hesitant that he gets it. I'm picking Makhachev to get it done by decision. I wrote submission. I'm picking Makhachev to get it done by a decision, but I would not be shocked if there's a submission. But also at the same time, please, MMA gods, don't do this. They've been doing this thing this year where guys who should clearly win, Hamza, Ilya, even Alex, they stand by it, and they lose. Just don't do it here, man. Just don't do it here. Just let Makhachev win, because why do you not want to see greatness? I'm not a huge Makhachev fanboy. You know, he might jump to my top 10 by the end of his career. But the main thing is, I want to see the record broken. I want to see someone break Silva's record. I didn't watch all of Silva's fights live. I watched all of Jones and GSP's fights live, but I've watched all of Makhachev's fights as they aired, and I want to see him be the GOAT. I want a new GOAT. Why don't we want a new GOAT? This is the only option we have. There will never be anyone that will overtake Jones, and that pisses me off because besides the fact I hate Jones, I want to see legendary stuff happen. There will never be anyone who comes close. Nobody. If Makhachev loses. Because how UFC is nowadays, you don't get a title shot after your second fight. You don't get easy matchups. You don't get whatever. Makhachev's had tough matchups, an underrated resume, and he's been doing this for so long, and he's on the longest win streak, double champion. Like, he literally has the longest win streak. If he beats Garry, he has undisputed longest win streak. And I don't know. So, enough of my rant. Makhachev decision is my pick. I would also potentially pick sub, and I just hope he wins. That has been it for this card. I talked a lot more about this card, which is not the best, but at main event, it's specials. It's legendary. So, once again, this has been your boy Zaku, and bye-bye.